Hello there. Hi. This is my first time recording that. I was asked by my friend TRT to make a draft analysis on my EDC team for the season. So here we are. So EDC is more of a community-based league. Generally, it's more about having fun, but it can also have some competitive aspects to it. This season, I got put into the second division, being Distortion, out of 4, as a promotion from the third division, which is Temporal. So I was looking to perform to show myself, Now this season, the format itself is different from usual. It was actually, they banned about the top 25 Pokemon in draft, which is quite funny. But I find it interesting relative with how every other league was instead unbanning Pokemon. They decided to ban more Pokemon, which I actually think is interesting because it gives a chance to lower priced Pokemon to have a better shot at shining on the screen. So let's get into the team itself. So when I was thinking about how to make this team, I did not have a plan at all. I just went in and was like, okay, I want to grab some funny Pokemon. That's where I asked my homies what I should go with, and my best friend Accidental said, yo, you know what you should take? You should take a pick 10. Pick 10 on the team. You should pick Big Zygarde. So Zygarde as a Pokemon in this format is interesting, in the sense that the top electric types are gone, so ground types themselves lost value in a lot of people's eyes. They don't have electric types to check. But on the other hand, I think grounds can perform a very much more offensive role in this format, because a lot of flying types are gone as well. Now Zygarde probably has the most spammable move in the game. Okay, 1,000 arrows. This shit, it's regardless of who you are, it just hits adjacent, close to the ground. It hits you, even if you're like flying or if you're levitating, whatever. It just hits you. So it's like insanely good. Besides that, Zygarde as a Pokemon has a lot of niche tech. Like last week, I was running like specs, which like it works with stuff like Core Enforcer, Draco, Earth Power. You know the drill. This Pokemon is versatile in this format. I feel like, especially in this format, it's actually pretty good. But you might ask yourself, what exactly is the meme here? This just seems like a viable pick. For 10th pick in this 16-man draft, with a lot of the top tiers gone, this just seems like a good pick. Well, I'll present you the second pick of the team. I grabbed the dog. Yes, sir. Double Zygarde. So, this is the meme I was suggested. Take double dog. Take it double with the dog. So, Zygarde 10 is usually undrafted in standard. It's usually just seen as a worse version of base Zygarde because it doesn't make sense. And base Zygarde in itself, I don't know people's eyes, it's not that good anyways. Or it's just not that best Pokemon. So if Zygarde does not get taken, Zygarde 10 probably won't get taken. But the interesting thing about this is that they both have the same attack stat and they both hit 1,000 arrows, right? So it's basically a clone, but with more speed, so it actually revenges Pokemon. It's more fragile, yeah, but it's better as an immediate breaker with like a speed tier, so I can just run like bandit sets. On the other hand, the fact that there's no double claws means I can actually run both of these at the same time. So I can run like Dragon Dance on this one, then like Band on this one, and just like break plus clean, and it's actually not that bad when I thought about it. It's actually slightly functional, but this puts me in a situation where I start with 2 Mons, neither of which are a ground type rocker, which on itself is not great because usually when you get a ground type, you want it to rock for your team. So I was looking at the draft. I thought 2 rounds in I was gonna get nothing because I thought everything good was gonna be gone. Right? It's like I thought everyone would just go top heavy. Like every team would go top heavy, and like so many more Pokemons at the top would go. But I was surprised to see that they didn't actually. That's when I took in this next round. I took a mon that I thought would even potentially go round 1, honestly. But instead it came back to me. That's the boy Jirachi. So Jirachi is an interesting Pokemon. This is a fairy steel, which means it's a fairy that is not weak to fighting, but it's also steel that's not resist fighting. It's not resist. No. It's a psychic that does not resist fighting, but it's a steel that is not weak to fighting. Yeah. So the interesting thing here is that Jirachi first of all gives you a facilitator. Basically the way I would get these 2 Pokemon in. I needed a pivot. Jirachi grants me that with U-turn. It gives me Healing Wish. It gives me Shenanigans with Encore. It also has, of course, the Wish bullshit. And of course, it's a rocker, which is awesome. But the main thing here is the fact that Jirachi is a Pokemon. It just feels like it can be so versatile in this meta. So all these moves, it feels like you prime do whatever you want it to do Pokemon to me in this, because it's kind of the highest value in Pixie or Mythical, and these mons are base 100 on everything, and they have an insane coverage. Like you can see, gets even like shit like Draco, which most mons don't get. But then compare that with its ability Serene Grace, and you get a really nasty Pokemon. A really nasty Pokemon. So I'm really excited for Jirachi. Now after Jirachi, I wanted. So I've seen people draft similar stuff like Garchomp with this Pokemon in standard. Actually, I've seen it from my friend Hopeless, and so I was looking at the board and I was like, okay, what's on value? Because I used a lot of budget between Sagar and Jirachi. Yeah. So I wanted to look at value options, value picks, and that's when I found this one Pokemon, and it's Nihilego. So the thing about Nihilego is that first off, it's another rocker. It's another rocker. So a T-Spiker. But the thing about Nihilego is that it's a Pokemon that forces in Steel types. Now what does that do? We bring these bad boys in, these 2 first Pokemon. They come in, they get some kills, and then these Mon can win in the end game. But not only that, it adds offensive pressure, but it also helps us on defensive capabilities. So as you can see, it has a very high HP stat, a very high def stat. So it actually is quite solid for checking some Pokemon. For example, it checks Bucephalon, which up to this point my team was very weak to. I don't have a Ghost Resist, or just I don't have a Water Resist, honestly. So just getting monsters like these that are like just blank checks is very useful. Now after Jirachi was round 5. Again, I didn't think good stuff would be around. I wanted something to resist fighting types. So at this point, just any normal common fighting type would just tear me. And there's so many good fighting types on this meta because all the like high tier fightings like Infernape, Mienshao, Boswell, Urshifu, Rabid, all of those just got bumped up, and now they're just like everywhere. So I just wanted a way to be able to check those. Now, at round 5, a mon that I would consider even as a round 2 pick made it to me, but I'm not complaining. Another Ultra Beast, Big Boy, Armstrong, Boswell. So for those that don't know how this mon works, it just does damage. It eats and it does damage. Not only that, but it gets great Scarfer at 79. Something that I would say I didn't lack, but I kind of wanted another Scarfer because Jirachi's Scarf is kind of fake in my opinion. and Nihi wants to like sweep with Meteor Beam more than it wants to Scarf. But Buswell is a better Scarfer because it can Scarf and then get attack boost with Beast Boost per kill. Now this Mon, it's actually surprisingly interesting here, because what happens is that it gives me also ground resist. That's very important. So up to this point, even though I have I have two of the best attacking grounds in this meta, funnily enough. It's like just a lot of shit though. Take 1,000 arrows. My other two mons were weak to ground, so getting boss will kind of helps me with that. But the main things that also helps me my fighting weakness that I had up to this point were my lack of fighting resist. So that's awesome. I did not expect to get this one, but I'm very glad I did because I love this one. After this is when I said I wanted my ghost resist. So in round 6, so on the board, so there's a few dark types. Zarud was taken. The ones that I really like wanted was taken. Like Zarud was taken. Gmo was taken. Like the most like typical dark types per se were taken. But then I saw that there was this one dark type left that is usually about 10 points, which is what it was here. So for reference, everything that stays at about the same price, in my eyes, is value. In this format, because the top mons are gone, a lot of mons just got put up higher in price. So anything you can get for the same price as it usually is basically just cheaper, from my perspective. Because it stayed the same, while everything else moved up. So this dark type I grabbed is Incineroar. Incineroar with Intimidate, yes sir. This is a mon that, again, another facilitator, parting shot, U-turn, so that's awesome. More ways to get my threats in. We always appreciate that. The main selling point in this Pokemon here is to be a dark type for my team that keeps up momentum. Because so far my team is a very offensive team. So I want to make sure I can keep up momentum, and Incineroar guarantees that. At the same time, it gives you a knockoff mon, because you can see my team up to this point, beside Nihi, I actually didn't have a knockoff mon. So a staff knockoff, or just a stronger knockoff, is very much appreciated. Besides that, I think Incin has a lot of tech, be it stuff like Power Trip, Flame Charge. It has SD, Nasty Clot. Does it get Sucker? No, it doesn't get Sucker. But it has a lot of coverage. A lot of coverage. So that's cool. It's just cool. It works. Oh, it has my favorite move. Taunt. Taunt wins games, boys. Taunt wins games. Okay. Next up. So from this point, I wanted a few things. I wanted better speed. I wanted a special breaker. I actually didn't think fairy types were needed in this meta, so I did not pick a fairy type. So I decided to go for the speed breaker, more specifically special breaker, because up to now I technically have a breaker with like Bandit, Buzzwole, or like Bandit, Zygarde. For special, besides setup Nihi, I don't have anything. So that's where I saw a good mon at 9 points. The class Noise Pokemon. He's loud. he is loud. I don't have much to say about this Pokemon. It's just loud. It's hard with this. After its buff in Gen 7, this mon with Boom Burst, Choice Specs, and Speed Tier became a real threat. And that's what it's about. Usually when you get this Pokemon, even though it gets like U-turn, right? Usually it's like gonna be a 50-50 of Heat Wave, Boom Burst, in my opinion, because you wanna Boom Burst everything, or Heat Wave the Steel type. The only case where you ever U-turn is when the switch in is a Rock type. When it's a Rock type and you U-turn, And then, as you can see from our team, we have a lot of ways to punish rock types. We have both Buzzwole, and we also have like the Zygardes, right? We have these two. So I think Swallow has pretty good offensive synergy here, because our team as is able to break its checks, which is crucial. It's very good. After that, I just have to get more special breaking, and I saw for 8 points a funny Pokemon, a funny guy, the tree, the Christmas tree, a third Ultra Beast, yes sir, Circuitry. So Circuitry as a Pokemon is just, it's kind of, it just does the job. It just hits hard. Base 173 special attack stat, one of probably the highest offensive stats in the whole game. At least base, because Mega is happen. So there's like 200 stats on some ones, but base, this one is ridiculous. Base 83 with Scarf is great. You get Calm Mind, you get Energy Ball, you get Dazzling Gleam. Volt Switch is very big. I love Volt Switch. I think Volt Switch is a good thing to have on any team. Because up to this point, actually, my team didn't have a way to break water types, so the Circuitry helps with that. Because Incineroar based on water types, Nihi based on water types, shit like Slowbro usually switch check Zygardes, for example. So just having a Circuitry helps you put so much more pressure on this Pokemon. It's awesome. It's very solid. I love this one. Or at least I love the idea of trying to use it for once. Because I've actually never used it. It just looks fun. It looks fun because it just hits hard. And that's what I love to do. I just love hitting hard. I like seeing HP bars drop on my screen. The pick one moment, that's the best feeling. Okay. After this, I had about 15 points left on my draft. And I did not have a Mega. I did not have good removal either. I needed removal. It's fast. I need removal. And I wanted another check besides my two Zygardes, two electric types, and a fake ground resist. Yeah. So grass type. So for 3 points, there's this very cool Pokemon that for 4 points, before something go too lower, and it is Rentis. Rentis, similar to Serp, gets Contrary Reef Storm, but also gets Contrary Superpower, which is cool, but it means it doesn't get glare. Sorry, it doesn't get glare. It's sad, but it still gets the useful. It still gets the useful moves. It still gets knockoff. It gets default. It gets aerotherapy. You can check Summon if I need to. It's not like supposed to come every game. It's just supposed to be there and be an annoyance for my opponent. Because a well-played Lurantis seriously can just knock out some teams hard. Lurantis, when it's in the right matchup, can be a demon because it just doesn't. It's actually surprisingly bulky with investment. It doesn't just die, so that's sweet. And finally, as you guys could tell, my team did not have a bulky water. Did not have a water. I kind of want a spinner. I have 12 points left. And for 12 points, I have my goat, the Breaker Iguasos. So this was the last pick of the draft, the round 10, I believe. It was my last pick. And this one is just awesome. It just hits hard. Flip turns, so another pivot. Its rest talk sets are great. It's toxic, of course. It's classic. You can't Chow Smash because it's broken. We don't do that here. But it still gets Water Pulse. It gets Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam. It gets a lot of like random coverage that is useful against like Earthquake, I guess, or like G-King matchups, or like Flash Cannon for like Clefable, or like it just gets cool moves. Also, S-Toss is interesting on some matchups, personally. You want to batch slice, but like it hits hard enough anyways, so it's not necessary. But Roar is very cool here, because when you look at my team, I actually don't have much facing. I didn't have much facing up to this point. By facing, I mean take out the opponent that is setting up, not taunted / encore. So Roar is a very useful addition. Now, even though this mon is kind of having to play a bulky-ish role on my team, I appreciate this mod best when it's breaking because it hits so stupidly hard. And as a friend one told me, rapid spin is set up because it gives you speed. So it just speeds up removing and then it hits hard. So it's fun. It's fun. So yeah, that's kind of my team. So there's a more offensive team. It's a fun team. That's the main thing. I did not think I would come with this kind of team out when I drafted Double Zagor at the start. I thought I would get a way worse team. Like so much more mods will be taken, but I'm very happy that I got the mods I did get. Now, after week 1, I had this crisis where I noticed I actually do need a fair type because I got destroyed by Salamence. So I made 2 changes to my team. These 2 Pokemon here, Swallow and Zerg, these 2, they had to go, sadly. So what I did was, there was this funny Pokemon still around, I don't know how, Togekiss, or Fortuna, I like to call it. It locks out everyone. It is very good. It just air slashes, it's nasty hot. It's like a flamethrower, fire blast, it's like a seismic toss. Encore is very darn. That's another thing. It's surprisingly fat, with just like max HP. It has decent bulk on both ends, which is very good. It's not the best Scarfer. I don't really think it's that good of a Scarfer, but it can look as a Scarfer if you wanted to. It's a very solid mod, especially with like, it just supports my team a lot. I find that too, because it baits in steel types. Again, I love how I have Pokemon that bait in mons that just open up my Sagar. This baits in steel types, which gets in my Buzzwole, gets in my Sagar, gets in my Incineroar. You can make a Blastoise, doesn't mind it because it could just Aura Sphere the fuck out of it. Just kill stuff. So between those mons, I think this mon is a pretty good fit. And then finally, of course, this mon is too expensive for a 7-3. It's like 13. Surgery is like 8 points. I have to make up for it, so sadly Swallow had to go. But in exchange, I got another funny Pokemon. I was not sure on this pick, but with the options that were around, I thought this mon would grant me some solid value based on what I was told. Because I was told by like my friends Sub-Zero and Satosa that this mon is actually stupid good sometimes. And then saw some replays from it, and I was convinced that this mon could actually put some work. So here's why I picked Regigigas for quite some points as my last Pokemon. Now there's the thing about Regigigas. Those stats look insane, but slow start is stupid. So basically I have a base 80 attack. So the same as a special attack for who knows how long. For like 5 turns. And then speed is also cut in half. But the thing is, this is not what's cut in half. It's not the base. It's this. So like for like a few turns, for like the first turns, I actually have like 100 something speed. I don't have 230. I don't have 230 yet. So I have 252 speed here, plus minus, right? I don't have 328 speed. I have 164 speed. I think I did the math. Right, I have 164 speed. Here I don't have 388. I have 199. You get the drill. So it's actually not as strong in the first 5 turns. But there's a lot of ways to get around that. You can subtect. That's a very common thing to do. You can rest stock. Or you can try and set up during like those turns with like power, punch. It doesn't get much setup actually, which makes sense because if it got like defensive setup, it would actually be crazy because like you don't break it for 5 turns and it just starts killing you because it gets so much speed. But it still gets good stuff like knockoff. Body Slam is tedious to fight because it pairs. Then you get stuff like T-Wave as well, and just a lot of like coverage. Just gets a lot of coverage. So I did lose my form of speed and I lost my main way of breaking waters, but I found this to be a necessary move. Now this is my funniest thing. Sagar 10, Jirachi, Nihi, Buzzwole, Insane, Regigigas, Togekiss, Lurantis, and Mega Blastoise. Pretty solid team. It's not the best team, but it's a fun team. It's a solid team. So it does the job. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching. I'm very excited about this team. Very excited about my season. I don't know if I will upload more than this. I might. Depends on how I'm feeling. But regardless, see you all. Have a good day. Bye.